Just give it a minute. Hello? Hi, can everybody hear me? Loud and clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Devanshi, could you hit present?
Yes.
All right.
Here we go. Is everybody able to see the screen?
Yes, I can. All right, perfect. So a very good morning to everybody here in India and a good evening to everyone coming in from the US. Thank you so much for joining us today for Trojan Journeys, our Viterbi Fall 2026 admitted student event from classroom to career. It's just a small sort of a webinar put together for our incoming students to know just a little bit about Viterbi, about USC, the sort of community they're stepping into, and the kind of resources they have accessible in the time that they're making a decision. And we hope that today we're able to give you some valuable information that helps you make that decision. So without any further ado, let's get started. So I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Vaidehi. I currently am the Associate Director of Strategy and Credit Admissions at the Viterbi School of Engineering. And I'm myself an alum, by the way. I did study at Viterbi, and I'm an engineering management major from USC. And I did not graduate that long ago. So I'm kind of glad to offer perspectives from both like an alum perspective, but also staff, because I do work with Viterbi here in India. Devanshi, really quickly, I'd pass on the mic to you.
Yes. So, hi, I'm Devanshi. I studied at USC Marshall, but then ended up coming back to USC to work as a staff member at the LA office and in India. So it's a very full circle journey, and very happy to be here. I'm the marketing advisor for the India office, but really excited to put together this event and sort of showcase the USC life to future Trojans.
Perfect. Thank you. We also have two of our featured speakers, Candice Teixeira and Andrea Mora. Dr. Candice House Teixeira is the Associate Dean of Corporate Engagement and Programs at USC's Viterbi School of Engineering. She leads the development of continuing and executive programs and oversees outreach and enrollment for professionals who are pursuing graduate engineering education, either on campus or online, and manages the Engineering Career Center. Dr. Teixeira is also a proud alumnus of USC, and she's excited to welcome you to the Trojan family. Thank you, Candice, for joining us. Andrea Mora is an advisor with the USC's Viterbi office. She's worked with USC for the past 10 years, supporting international students as they transition into studying in the United States. She supports international students as they adjust to life and academics in the US, connecting them with resources to help them succeed. She's earned her MS in the post-secondary education field from USC, and she studied abroad in Florence, Italy during her undergraduate years. So she's also been an international student at some point. So yeah, she's passionate about supporting students in their educational journey. And today she's here to offer some help and insights on questions that really hold a lot of relevance and insights to you on post-work studies or ROI, post-degree sort of a structure. So thanks again, Andrea, for joining as well. Hopping on to our alum spotlights. So we have about 6 alums have joined us today for this session. We have Simran Saxena. She's earned her master's degree in computer engineering from Viterbi and previously completed her undergraduate studies in electronics and telecommunications. She currently serves as the network architect at Beamlink, and this is a LA-based startup developing portable cellular networks for rural, remote, and hard-to-reach communities. Beyond her technical responsibilities, Simran also manages Beamlink's relationship with UN, the United Nations, and represents the company at international forums, advocating for equitable access to communication infrastructure worldwide. Thank you, Simran, for joining. Next up, we have Swapnil Chhatre. Swapnil Chhatre is a senior software engineer at Persistent Systems, and he's specializing in generative AI and large-scale LLM-powered enterprise platforms. So his work focuses on building production-ready AI models for production-ready AI systems, rather, including retrieval augmented generation pipelines, tool orchestration frameworks, and scalable model deployment solutions. Prior to this, he has gained industry experience working on data engineering, distributed systems, and AI-driven solutions across research and enterprise environments. Swapnil holds an MS in CS from USC, and this is where he strengthened his expertise in AI and large-scale software systems. Thanks, Swapnil, for joining. We also have Sushant Manivanan, who is a hardware applications engineer at ARM Limited, where he collaborates closely with customers to configure and integrate ARM system IPs within system on chip designs. In his role, he provides technical guidance and on architectural and performance decisions and supports customers through complex design challenges using RTL simulation tools and conducts detailed SoC design reviews to recommend functional enhancements and performance optimizations. Thank you very much, Sushant, for joining. Up next, we also have Pranav Kulkarni. So Pranav Kulkarni is a product and program manager who thrives on transforming complex ideas into scalable, manufacturable products with real-world impact, has about 7 years of experience across new product launches, and he has worked at the intersection of design, supply chain, production, leading cross-functional programs that bridge engineering and operations. He's co-founded a startup focused on energy-efficient heat pumps, and established about $1 million in manufacturing and testing facility and generating over 100K in revenue, taking the product from concept to commercialization. Currently, he's a project engineer in Tesla's NPI organization, and he manages end-to-end programs for industrial energy products, driving large-scale production factory transitions and continuous product optimization. We also have on the panel Archita Dande. She's a GTM data analyst at Tavali and a Viterbi alumnus with a master's in analytics. In her role, she closely partners with business and go-to-market leaders to analyze data, generate strategic insights, and support decision-making that drives growth and operational efficiency. At USC, she's developed strong technical and analytical expertise through hands-on projects, and this, in her opinion, has helped solve real-world business problems in a fast-paced AI industry-based environment. So she's also passionate about mentoring students in the US and help them out for anything, any resource really. So thanks, Archita, for joining as well. Kanika Jandal up next. She's also a USC Computer Science MS alumna, originally from Delhi. Kanika has leveraged her USC education to land critical internships at JP Morgan Chase, Microsoft, ultimately leading to her full-time role as a software engineer at Microsoft currently. She is here to also offer current students an honest look at the resources and strategic decisions she's made at USC that has directly opened these doors for these opportunities for her. And last but not the least, we have a current student ambassador from Viterbi who's studying right now at USC. Radha Rajurkar is a master's student pursuing her degree in astronautical engineering. This is her second semester at USC and as a graduate student ambassador with the Viterbi School of Engineering. She's very passionate about spacecraft system designing and also here today to offer insights from the more current student perspective as she joined USC not very long ago. Thanks, Radha, for joining as well. Okay, so up next, I just want to get a little bit into where you're headed at, and you're headed into Los Angeles, and LA for me personally is the city that's sunny 365 days a year, has perfect weather almost all the time, but more than anything, it's not just a major city, it's a global hub where technology, entertainment, aerospace, AI, sustainability, and a lot of venture capital intersection as well. So it's home to Silicon Beach, which you actually do see on screen right now. This hosts thousands of startups, major tech companies across software, gaming, digital media, biotech, climate innovation, you name it, all of it's happening in LA. And it's also home to two of our primary institutes that do most of the heavy research for USC. That's Institute of Creative Technologies and ISI, the Information Sciences Institute. And we're going to talk a little bit about what has transpired, like innovation-wise at ISI and ICT, a little bit further in the presentation as well. And for students who are going to Viterbi now, this means direct proximity to industry leaders, research labs, founders, investors, and the entire ecosystem that you get access to right there. So innovation here is not just restricted to, say, campus walls, but it's really embedded in the city and its culture as well. So being in LA is a major plus in a lot of advantages wise, but something that's important is, say, the ROI perspective of where you're based out of, because we're the fourth largest technology hub in the United States. So that's something you are stepping into, and you should know that LA is absolutely rocking in terms of life, student life, and the career prospect side as well. So really quickly, want to sort of highlight where you're getting into sort of in terms of School of Engineering and some statistics on those. So USC is ranked top 4% globally, and that's by Times Higher Education, and top 10% among 500 US universities. That's Wall Street Journal in 2025. So about 26% of our population is international, and in terms of a few quick power stats, you can already see about 10,000, about 100K plus global engineering alums, ranked number 20 for our engineering programs. This is US News and World Report in 2026. So the most latest ranking that we can get to. We've spent about 177 million plus in annual research expenditure. And we're an R1 and Tier 1 university. Any university in the US, if they have the R1 Tier 1 tag, that means that they spend more than 50 million plus in annual research expenditure. And you can see we're way past that number, almost 3 times that number. And so just overall, we've launched a lot of initiatives in AI, quantum, and scalable computing. And just the focus is not to be the focus is not just, say, academics, but it's also investing heavily in research and anything that's coming in the technology in the next 20 years. I think we're on top of that. So this is a few quick power facts for you to know as to why USC Viterbi and the kind of ecosystem you're entering in within LA. So moving on to next. This, in my opinion, is one of the most important slides today. How USC's advantage is not just the ranking or the reputation, it's the positioning. But access alone is not going to guarantee outcomes, right? You have to be strategic about your MS degree once you're there. So we're in LA, one of the most powerful innovation hubs globally, from AI startups to aerospace to everything else that we talked about really quickly. But this location adds on a lot of value. Like I mentioned, we're the fourth largest tech hub in the US with access to Silicon Beach. And you've already gotten a quick view about Silicon Beach and what it is like to be there. We're also ranked as one of the top hubs for AI job postings, just a little bit behind San Francisco Bay Area. Something that personally resonated with me as an alum when I was deciding to go was the fact that about 24 of our faculties are Nobel Prize, MacArthur Genius Grant, and National Medal holders, which just really makes you understand that you're entering top-notch ecosystem where you're learning from few of the greatest minds across the country. Again, something that's really important is the career ecosystem at scale. So we do have the larger USC Career Center that's dedicated to supporting you, but there's also a Viterbi Career Connections office, which is supporting only engineering and computer science students, aside from the USC Career Center. This just genuinely means how invested we are in supporting you and providing you resources that really help you get industry ready after your graduation. So a quick 2025-26 snapshot. Over 120 career preparedness and recruitment activities during the fall and spring semesters. And that is a big number. That includes a lot of these career fairs, internship fairs, and also networking events like Trojan Talks, where a lot of our company partners come in and present about the kind of innovations and the kind of projects they're working on. And sometimes these events can be the first platform for you to access and step into your networking side of things, and might even help you end up bag a role, right? So all these events are hosted by the VCC office. Maybe some of them are alongside the Career Center as well. Now, what's really important is what's called the first destination survey. So all students who are graduating with a Viterbi degree after graduation fill out what's called the FDS survey. This is where they mention which company they're working at and what position they're in. And the survey is optional. So we do have, say, not the entire cohort filling it out. So, because it's a survey, so we do know only some chunk of the population of the cohort will fill it out. But from what statistics we have, 90.76% of the MS students from India, of whose outcome we know of, that's 98.6%, indicated that they have employment upon graduation. So I think the statistic is really important for you to put in place how many of our alums are actually really finding jobs. And they're being hired at companies like Amazon, ADM, Alphabet, so Google, Apple, Cisco. And it's a very long list. We could really just include some of our top hires here. But if you want to know more about this, towards the end of the webinar, I can show you what are called career outcomes pages. For your degree is where you can actually see which companies have previously hired for which positions. And that gives you some insights and perspective of how many opportunities are available to you, but you should know how to tap into it, right? So yes, this is where USC positions you, and it's positioning you for something that's really successful and support you through really all of it. Moving on to the next slide, something that really stands out, and I think inventions that really make Viterbi a standout school, is I know all of us have used ChatGPT at this stage in time. And the breakthrough that powers, say, modern Gen AI, the transformer architecture that's introduced through the landmark paper called Attention is All You Need, is by two alums from Viterbi, Nikki Parmar and Ashish Vaswani, who fundamentally reshaped AI and enabled technologies like ChatGPT. The fact that talent connected to USC Viterbi has helped shape the intellectual foundation behind today's AI revolution speaks to the global research impact that Viterbi has, or the footprint that we have across the world. And we're not just participating in innovation, we're really defining it and doing it from scratch, I guess. So I thought this is really cool and I should share it with students as well. Up next is birth of the dot-com. So in 1983, while working at Viterbi, Paul Mokapetris and John Purcell pioneered the domain name system, the DNS, and the foundational technology that introduced internet naming standards like .com, .edu, .gov, and .org. And DNS has transformed the internet by replacing all those complex IP addresses with human readable domains, such as, say, usc.edu, making the modern website or the web's usable, scalable, and, say, accessible as well. Who's going to remember 8, 9, or 10-digit combinations to access some information, right? So this pivotal innovation has really been one of our historic ones. And we're not just really participating in the digital era. Like I said, we're building it from ground up. So another something that I feel is something exceptional we've done. And there's so many, we've just condensed it to 2 or 3 that are really something that are my favorite and Devanshi's favorite also, by the way. USC's legacy in space exploration and robotics as well is equally remarkable. We've truly done research in every single field to exist, and some of it has really been groundbreaking to another level. Neil Armstrong, by the way, the first man to walk the moon, is an alum of Viterbi's mechanical engineering major. And it's really this legacy that is really helping a lot of these researchers conduct advanced robotics research in collaboration with NASA. And there's projects like Lassie, legged robot designed to navigate uneven and extreme terrains on the moon. And all of this sort of research has happened at USC, which really does underscore and highlight the impact of what we do and at what scale we do it at. So, all right, with all this, I now want to enter the Q&A portion. But before we move on to that, I want all attendees to really quickly take out your phones, scan that QR code, and fill out this poll. We really want to know what you're most anxious about right now. And it's a way of us to sort of address that today as well through the moderated Q&A and at a later time in the Q&A portion additionally. But yes, I do want you to go through this poll just right now. So quickly, please take out your phones, scan the QR code. This goes to Mentimeter, and we can sort of live see the results that we can. So want to know what is really making you anxious right now. We'll wait for just a couple of minutes. Okay. Devanshi, are you able to see any of the responses yet?
Yes, I just wanna showcase the QR if
Yeah,
people
sure.
haven't scanned it. Yes, we're able to see results. I guess it's careers and internships at the top.
Okay, as expected, really, honestly. We anticipated this response, and the questions are structured towards that itself. All right, so I think I know still a lot of students are going in and doing the poll, but for the sake of time, I think we can get to the first question today.
Totally.
All right. So for our moderated Q&A, my first question is for admitted students thinking about the return on investment. How did USC help you translate your degree into real industry readiness? Any of our panelists, would you want to volunteer and go ahead and answer this question?
Yeah, I can go ahead. Let me break the ice. Hi, everyone.
Sure.
Yeah, so I graduated in 2022, December, and back then, ChatGPT wasn't launched yet. It was January of 2023, I think, when it was launched. So, I entered the industry with the AI, like the sort of like the AI boom to actual public access. But USC did make me ready for all the AI things that are going to be explored to me during the industry period that I'm going to enter. And how it was I was a CS general student, but USC did allow me to take courses which were from all over the space, data science, AI, computer science. And by mixing and matching all those courses, I knew I was ready not just for software engineering, but also for the AI work that's gonna be there. I know a lot of AI that we hear these days is mostly prompt engineering, but at industry, what we work on is building those models. USC's, I remember like one of the course I took at USC was NLP course, natural language processing. The assignments that I did during that course are the is actually the research that I do in my regular day-to-day projects today at Microsoft as well. And just knowing the LLMs from the class study, I know how the black box is working right now. So not gonna go into more intricacies there, but yeah, definitely that one course, I think that was just one example though. I really loved all the courses that I took, specifically around data science and NLP. Because as I said, like it helps me in my day-to-day today at Microsoft.
Thanks so much, Kanika. That was such a good perspective and insight into how this whole situation worked out for you. All right, thanks. Any other panelist who'd wanna go ahead and volunteer and answer this question for our audience today?
I can add some perspective. It's almost along the lines of what Kanika said. So I think many of us do end up taking the AI course. I think I also took it right in January 2023, my first semester at USC. So ChatGPT just started, but it was not what it is right now today. So what I wanted to talk about the AI course is how it was different is like I had taken the same course in my undergrad as well, but it was more focused towards theory. In At USC, what different was the assignments that I would say it's definitely challenging, but I got to learn a lot of things which probably I wouldn't have done it myself at in my undergrad or Um, I mean, the assignments are challenging. Trust me, it'll take probably weeks of your efforts, but you will get to learn a lot. So, and the TARA and the professors are there for your, like, you can reach out to them and get help from them. But it will really make you use your brain to your full capacity, and you'll get that will definitely get to learn a lot, and you'll probably be industry ready right from the first semester.
Thanks, Sushant. That's an interesting perspective as well. Okay, hopping on to the next question. What are the most underutilized career resources that students should start using in their first semester? And for this one specifically, I want to request Candice, who also leads all initiatives at our Viterbi Career Connections office, to maybe give us a head start.
Yes, absolutely. It's so interesting because there are so many ways that you can connect with companies or even learn how to connect at companies. And when you get there your first semester, there's going to be a lot of new and exciting things. And you're going to see a lot of great events. And at times it could be overwhelming to just kind of understand, okay, I see that Microsoft is coming. What am I supposed to do? And so, what I think you should do first is make sure that you attend Graduate Career Readiness Week. And these are activities that we have where we kind of go through what the cycle of recruitment looks like. So, you want to go to professional development workshops, you want to go to sessions called What is Networking? How do I do this? Before you find yourself in a room with some of the professionals. And you'll find that even though it may feel or seem intimidating, these are usually alum or people who are really invested in coming and meeting with USC students. But one thing I wanted to highlight is Vida, he had mentioned we have 120 events on average, right? That's fall and spring semester, Viterbi only. Those are Viterbi Career Connections events. Two of those are fairs. So everybody thinks career, they think, oh yeah, the fair. And I'm like, okay, but we have 118 other things that we're doing that you should go to. And so one, I would think going to an advisement session is very underutilized because the professionals that you can actually meet with, once you graduate, you would pay close to $500 an hour to have a session with someone like that, who's almost a life and professional coach. So make sure you go to an advisement session and go to Graduate Career Readiness Week. I would also say go to the Trojan Talks because that is an event where it's an information session just like this, but a representative has flown out to LA or resides in LA and they want to tell you about opportunities. Go to those sessions. Go whenever you see your major is an option because you might not even realize that as a biomedical engineer, Hewlett Packard was doing a lot of hiring in that area. And you might not make that connection. There's a project they're working on. Or maybe you might not realize, you're an aerospace engineer, but Amazon just did a huge hiring for aerospace students. Why? There's another satellite project that they're working on. So those are things that you just might not realize what your fit is with a company. A company knows, and you wouldn't even realize it if you didn't go to those information sessions. So my advice is advisement, Graduate Career Readiness Week, and do more than the fair. The fair is the big event everybody sees, but there's a lot of events that we have that are not on Truesdale. So I'll mute now because Vida, he knows I could keep going.
No, no, thank you, Candace. I think this is one of the most important questions that students need to know about because considering how all universities in the United States, they are not training placement cells, right? There is no TPO structure like it is back home in India. And so you have to know the kind of resources available within universities. And I guess we're one of the strongest ones with not one, but two career offices working for you. So these are all resources that are ready at your disposal. You should know how to tap into those as well. And yes, starting off with the career readiness week sounds like the perfect idea. All right, any Allens who want to highlight, say, any resources that they've used from the VCC office or the USC Career Center that have been helpful in their sort of internship or job hunt process?
I would like to step in.
Sure.
Adding in more to the Candace, exactly what she said. Like, I would like to share my experience for the first semester when I entered the career fair. As she mentioned, like the two events people only go through, And I was the first person who just entered the career fair, and I had no clue. I was so overwhelmed by just looking at the companies. And stepping into the place, I realized that I am not prepared for this. Like, I don't think my resume was on point. I don't think I had my first go to message to go and talk to people. Like, I feel that is the first thing that you should be prepared with. I did not know what I was looking for. I did not know what the companies are looking for. So I completely agree, as a person who practiced actually the whole way of USC and like how the career services work and everything. I completely agree with Candace what she said. It's not about just going to the career fair. We have so many services given by career services in USC, such as getting your resume reviewed. They have mock interviews. They help you set up. They will help you set up literally your career path, just in sense of, okay, you have done this in your past. Maybe you want to focus on companies like these that they hire for something like these roles, the one you're interested in, and they actually go through your path in that. And like once you're prepared with that, I think stepping into a career fair would be more beneficial, because let's agree, if it's a 6 hour career fair, nobody actually wants to spend 4 hours running to each company. If you are prepared for it, you can utilize it more, and you will actually talk to companies that might also be interested in you. So thumbs up for you, whatever Candace mentioned.
Thank you so much, Archita. We've all been there, and we've all gone through similar experiences. But what has helped was going prepared. And I guess resumes in India are longer than how it is in the US. So to start off with, we do everything from scratch, from ground up. How to have your resume reviewed, what sort of helps you stand out. To all folks in the CS fields, your GitHub repositories or your portfolio websites also hold a lot of value, right? So such few tips and tricks, they just elevate your whole experience of how you're looking at the job hunt prospect. So okay, we're moving on to the next question, because I can also speak for a long time on this one, but we have a few questions to go through. Okay, the next one is, when should admitted students realistically begin preparing for internships? Because I know on the poll we saw that most of you are, say, anxious about careers and internships. So we also want to address this question right here. For any alums who are on board, would you want to share your experience?
Yeah, I'm happy to get the ball rolling on this one.
Sure.
I think the short answer to this, in my opinion, is as early as you can start. So basically, my recommendation is just before even you land in the US, if you can at least have your resume ready to a certain extent, that's great. You can polish it once you come here, but like just being ready with that will give you the initial head start. Um, One thing I personally struggled with was, since I came fresh from my undergrad, I was also surrounded with a lot of people who had worked in the industry for a few years. So I felt like it was really intimidating when I was just starting to apply for internship, because I think that all these people who have prior work experience, their resume was like really stacked. And that it did put like some sense of hesitation in my head that maybe I should like wait for my resume to be perfect. I should take a few more courses and add those projects in there. But do not wait for that. Yeah, do not wait for that. It's okay. You will continue to improve. You'll do more things. Your resume will get stronger gradually, but do not wait for that perfect moment to apply. So apply as early as possible. Usually, more timeline specific advice would be that right when you start your course, within like a month or so, you'd start seeing internships open up. Like all the roles would be out there. So be on the lookout for that and start applying as soon as possible. So realistically, within a month that you start, sometime around that would be a good estimate.
Thank you, Sushil.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to jump in. That timeline is absolutely right. Recruitment begins when you get on campus. And so don't wait to get more work experience. That's when you meet with us, right? You meet with the team, and we make sure you write about the academic projects or the courses you're taking. The individuals who are recruiting on the USC campus, they're there for a reason. They know the talent, they know what courses you're taking, they know what you will have under your belt come summer when you're eligible for an internship. So they know you're going to have fall. They will recruit you during the fall for a summer internship. That is part of their timeline. And they recruit in spring as well. But there's a lot that happens in September, October, November for the next summer. So don't wait. Get the resume tightened up. You'll mention your courses, you'll highlight what you're doing. They will recruit you very early, even though you're not eligible for CPT until that summer. They're still picking you up and giving you an offer. So great advice from our alum. Absolutely. Don't wait.
Perfect. Does anyone else want to take a shot at this one?
Yeah, I can add my experience or what I learned. I come from exactly opposite background as Sushant. Like I had 4 years of work ex and then I came, so my resume was stacked up. But yeah, start early. I would, second that with everyone here. There's no specific time. But also, what I saw with many people and with myself is having a clarity helps you a lot to tailor your resume, like what goals I'm targeting. And I learned that hard way after an year. Like if I have few dream roles or I know my skill set matches to those companies, those roles, I should spend 70-80% of my energy in that, because we hear stories that people spend a lot of time on applying and getting in interviews, and there are people on the other end of spectrum who just apply a few roles and get all the offers. So applying smart or knowing what I want to do in life definitely helps. And in at USC, within first year, it helped me a lot to figure out what I want to do in life, what are courses I want to take, and there were professors and people to help me out with that. So I think building clarity also helps to starting to apply more.
Thanks, Sushant, Candice, and Pranav. I think these three perspectives that you've shared is exactly what every incoming student needs to know before they're starting. And I'm so glad that we're able to do this session, so we're able to share this perspective also. All right, moving on to the next question. Yeah, students often hear terms like CPT, OPT, and STEM OPT, and I'd request Andrea to address this question, and if you could briefly explain what they mean and sort of how USC helps students in making the most of that experience as well.
I can absolutely do that. So for international students in the US, CPT, or what is also known as curricular practical training, allows them to gain professional experience, such as internships while they're completing their degree. And so in terms of OPT, that allows students also to work in the United States for about 12 months after graduation in a role related to what you studied. So that is in these two opportunities, I think that especially at Viterbi, there is such a strong career type of support, just like we've talked about. Candice mentioned earlier, and a lot of the other fellow panelists also discussed. That allows you to really prepare for your internships and your full-time roles, and you're connected to employers through all these events along with the career fairs. Along with that, there is also the Office of International Students that also guides you through what those requirements are for CPT and OPT and what timelines you have to abide to plan your academic and your professional journey and to make the most out of it. So I would say that, and you also have my office, which is very well versed on CPT, OPT, and the STEM OPT that can provide that guidance to you all on what does this look like? What does this mean? How do we plan for this? What are questions you might have? And if we can't answer it, we can definitely connect you with someone that can.
Thank you so much, Andrea. And I think I do want to highlight myself that I've spoken to your office so many times, and every single time they've given me, say, everything I need to keep a note of while I'm making, say, registering for the internship course for the CPT, or any details I need to keep in my mind about OPT and STEM OPT, because around the time of graduation, there are a lot of questions. But yes, having those resources have been very helpful. So thank you. All
I
right.
have one thing I do want to add that I think
Sure,
is very,
sure.
very unique. Sorry, because you can't mute me all the you can mute me, but I get excited about this. So one thing I want to mention is you'll see that there are a lot of universities, right, that have curricular practical training and optional. So I just want to mention that one thing that I think USC also does really uniquely is we work with our companies so they know what this means. So for example, if we meet with an organization who's maybe they're not sure about funding for the year, but there are a number of students that they want to hire. They might not know that there's OPT or even an OPT STEM extension if it's available, where someone who's really talented could work for 2 years after graduation under the umbrella of USC. That's something by having someone like myself or someone on our legal team or others to just talk to our corporate partners, it demystifies something that might not be known, right? And so we educate our employers about the work authorization opportunities that we support at USC so that our international students can find opportunities. And I hear this from other colleagues at other universities where they're like, oh, wow, we don't understand the nuances and we don't have the corporate partners that you do. So I know that that's something that's really unique about USC, that we have a strong understanding of this. We work really closely with OIS. And of course, we work with our partners so they understand that they would be able to hire talent from around the world, knowing that we have many work authorization options for them. So I just wanted to share that as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Candice and Andrea. And let's go to the next question. Okay, this one's one of my favorites because this is, I think, for every admitted student, you don't know what your first semester is going to look like. You're just moving to a new country. So I want to invite alums, or even rather, if because you're there right now, walk us through sort of like what your typical week looks like right now during your first semester, or just the first year of your study. If anyone wants to go after Radha, that's also great.
Yeah, sure. So when I arrived in USC, I was super excited to like do a lot of things because I've after like spending a week, maybe I realized that like it's USC is a very happening place. Like every day there will be some event, or maybe you'll have your classes, or you won't feel bored. Like you won't have a question to ask yourself, like, what should I do today? So, as every other excited student, really, I was really excited to like join all the clubs and to attend all the events. So, typically, what my first semester was like, I joined a lab called CERC, which is situated at ISI building. And so I used to spend like 2 3 days over there, and then I had my classes and the rest of the days, and whatever time I used to get, I used to attend the career related events. And there are also a lot of fun events that happens, like for instance late night SC, which I find really fun because you get to meet a lot of people. Also, one more thing I realized in my first semester, that making connections is really important. Like you won't like once you come to USC, you won't just meet people out of nowhere. You have to actually work for it, go to the events, talk to people. And so yeah, typically this is what my first semester looked like.
Perfect. Anybody else on the alum panel who want to share their experience?
I can share some insights. I agree. Most of my semester one also looked like what Radha was describing, but I would say it also had its fair share of hurdles because you're coming to a new country, you're trying to find your rhythm. So I think what I learned on in the later coming semesters is that the lessons that you learn through semester one sort of becomes your foundation, and with time it gets easier. You're going to learn how to manage your time better. So just don't be hard on yourself, be a little easy going. There are going to be a lot of lessons that you're going to learn, be it logistics related, be it academics related. So just show up for yourself, and as Radha mentioned, go for these
these events, because it's like all these events outside of your academics that help you keep sane, because university life is very intense. So don't forget to breathe in between every now and then.
Oh, thanks, Radha and Simran. I think for all of us, we echo the same feelings of all of us who are alums. And something that totally does resonate with me is taking a breather, because it might feel overwhelming. You're adjusting to classes, you're looking for internships, you're looking for on-campus job opportunities, you're attending events, and you're also just getting acquainted into a new weather, a new climate, new people, because you'll end up sharing apartments with new folks, right? So yes, definitely take a breather and take it slow. Something that helped a lot to me was just go to the Santa Monica beach or the pier and just take a relaxing evening off, I guess. And late night SE events, I think, are everybody's favorite, because it's at the end of the day, you're done with your classes, you're done with, say, all assignments, homework, whatever, and then you can just chill out. And some of these events have food, so you don't need to cook. So that's the best, in my
Food is
opinion.
the best reason to go to any event.
Exactly. Free food. Always a incentive for anybody who's on campus, I guess. All right, let's go to the next question. So how early should admitted students start networking? And what does networking actually mean in the US? And how do you actually leverage the Trojan family? And for this one, I'm gonna pinpoint on Pranav, because I know he's really good at that. We were batchmates at a time, and so I've seen him live in action. And I think he's participated in so many competitions, in one of which he's also won like a $5,000 grant from the Lloyd Grive Center in Marshall. So just I'd wanna pinpoint to Pranav, and then maybe anybody else on the panel if you want to share. That's great too.
I think anyone who's joined this session today has already started networking. So, when to start networking? I think you guys have already started it. Reach out to us on LinkedIn, set up calls, coffee chats, discuss your doubts. So, I think that never goes away. And I've been working in industry in Tesla now for 2 years almost. So, that stays with you, like internship. Oh, sorry. Networking never goes away. You still have to network with people in other companies in your field, what they are doing. So I would say start as soon as you can. Find the topics that interest you. You can keep up the conversation, make those connections, and find your ways. But that's my take. Uh,
Perfect.
Thanks, Pranav. Anyone else on the alum panel who'd want to share their experience?
I would really like to add something to the networking part, to be more specific. I feel the networking after coming to US has shifted a lot from my first semester just by networking with friends and everything to second, third semester actually started talking to their friends, alumni friends. So that from that, like after my graduation, I actually started networking more just for the search of job. And I feel just talking to people on LinkedIn, as Pranav mentioned, just having coffee chats with people do really help you. And I've realized this one thing: USC alumni connections are really strong. If you reach out to any of the USC alumni, I bet like at least 8 out of 10 are gonna respond to you with anything that they can. Like if you want referrals for the jobs, anything per se, they will help you. I personally got my job via networking on LinkedIn as well. So one on one, like I feel that is what the main thing in US is. What it's everything is based on network. Like the more you talk to people, the more you reach out to them. If you leave out of your bubble, it's going to be really advantageous for you. So it is important. So like I think just joining the event has already started with the networking. So that's good that you're here, but keep going. Best advice.
Thanks, Pranav and Archita. And piggybacking off of what the two of you just mentioned, I started networking right off the bat, like say, those career fairs, not the career fairs, the involvement fairs and on-campus job fairs during the first couple of weeks. I think that's when we already started talking to a lot of students and say peers. But something that really helped was going to a lot of these mixers. So there are departmental mixers, like your say computer science department will have a mixer, and they do invite invite alums on campus to join like in person for a mix. And those are really more of informal conversations, like you're just getting to know them. That's one. But something that's really helped me was also Viterbi Startup Garage. There was initiative called Viterbi Trek, and I went to say 5 or 6 odd companies across 3 days in the spring break. And I was just lounging around in the networking area at ISI, and I happened to meet an older gentleman, and we just got to chatting, and he turned out to be the CEO of the company I then eventually interned for. So at any point of time, you might be talking to somebody not knowing the impact it's going to cause you in terms of both mentorship and career side. Because say whoever I've reached out to on LinkedIn, because that's one of the primary methods you use as well at the time, was not just to say leverage and speak directly about say a job, but I've also invited them to say, can we meet for coffee? I'd want to know what you're doing. So it's kind of also a two-way it's a two-way street for me. It's them also sharing their experiences, and you find some of the best mentors through these coffee chats. So there's countless of these coffee chats that I've done with alums who are based in LA, and I was in New York once. I met a few in New York as well, and it's just great to know that experience. You never know how they can help out, and they could not just be people who refer you for jobs, but also be mentors in your professional journey as well. So alrighty, we have a last question, which is, how did you find your community at USC? And any alums or anybody rather, if you want to share your experience, please go ahead.
I can get started on this one. I have a lot to say, but try joining student clubs or committees. I was a part of the Women in Engineering Board and various other student organizations. And through my experiences, I feel like being a part of such different communities was truly transformative. They help you build meaningful relationships, develop leadership skills and soft skills that are going to help you advance better in your career. It also helps you understand at like the ground level how these organizations function. It gives you an exposure to a lot of like logistical stuff and helps you grow personally outside of like your academics. And I feel like these soft skills then combined with your professional skills really help you grow in your career. So, honestly, I think a balance really matters. So continue pursuing whatever like makes you happy, whether it's dancing, painting, sports. As mentioned previously, there's so much happening on campus. And I feel like these people that you meet, like-minded individuals that you meet along your journey are going to keep you grounded. So my advice is very simple. Don't isolate yourself in academics, introduce yourself, put yourself out there, and you never know who you're going to meet. At like a random event, I met someone and now they're one of my closest friends. So yeah, just keep going. I would say put yourself out there and you will find a lot of people who are in the same boat as you. And a lot of times you don't realize that unless you put yourself out there and you attend a lot of these events and are part of different like communities and clubs.
Yeah, I can continue with, sorry, Vadhi. I can continue with what Simran was saying. I was a part of Viterbi Graduate Student Association, and I happened to be a senator as well there later on. But that platform allowed me to not just experience folks from outside my major, but also meet a lot of new folks every week. So it helped me with personality development. It helped me growing my leadership skills. All these skills are really important when you step out into the real world, which is the industry world. So getting part of like those communities, becoming a part of those organizations, or if you happen to have leadership skills, then leading those events is a great way I found my personality to be grown. Secondly, like USC, as Simran said, like it is so big. I like spaces which have like a vast number of opportunities. So I know it's not related to my degree, but I did happen to do a course or like be a part of a choir for music school. And that happened to be a life-changing experience for me because I was so interested in music. And then USC did allow me to, I did not get a credit for that, but USC did allow me to take that course and then become a part of a Chinese choir. I would have never thought in my life that I would be a part of like something like that. And USC does allow you to do all that stuff because of how big it is and how different kind of opportunities are there. So you will never know what you're going to land next or who are you going to meet next. And that's the best thing about USC, I think.
Totally.
Thanks, Simran and Kanika. I think we all echo the same feelings, and I'm getting a whole wave of nostalgia as we speak today because I'm living all the moments I used to back then. But all right, Devanshi, let's hop on to the rapid fire portion. Yep. Okay, so all folks here in India, we've set up a fun activity for all our alums and rather our current student ambassador to participate in alongside Candace and Andrea. So all of the panelists here, we're gonna go one by one and we wanna hear answers really quickly. So, all right, one word to describe USC and we go, all of us go, just unmute and go.
I
Happening.
would say a paradise.
Vibrant.
Huge.
Sunset.
Family.
LA.
Lively.
Wow. So I heard somebody say family. I think it was Candice. That's exactly how I feel as well. Number two, favorite class at USC. I'm gonna say engineering project management. Absolutely loved it.
Foundations of data science.
AI.
Computer architecture.
I'm gonna go with
Uh,
statistics.
Human spaceflight.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say wireless networks. That's what I work in. So
Lovely.
Yeah.
Did we miss out someone? Radha? Astronautical?
Oh, human spaceflight.
Oh,
The
lovely.
human space.
Woohoo. Okay. Go to study spot at USC.
EV library. I know everyone's going to answer that.
AV.
There are a few Doheny people as
I'm
well.
Doheny. You can see it at the back of my my
There are
wallpaper.
no whose people.
Me?
I like
Who's-
WPS basement actually.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. For all admitted students, by the way, Doheny is the best library. Nobody can convince you otherwise. Doheny and Who's looks like straight out of Harry Potter, and I think I can never get over that ever in my whole life. Cool. Best late night spots to eat around campus.
I mean, it's not a fair late night dinner, but it's insomnia cookies for me. I love
Yeah.
that.
+1, hands down.
I think it's the taco truck on 23rd.
I was
The-
about to say any taco truck, anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's an Indian food truck, right? That sits right across right next to Target, like the same street. I think it's Hoover.
In Burlington.
That guy will have the best Indian food aside from Manas, which is sort of overrated, but you just have to make do with it. Manas is the Indian store close to close to campus, the only one close to campus. Okay, go to LA weekend activity.
Beaches.
I
Sunset.
would
That's
say
really hard.
Yeah, it has to be the beach.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Venice
On
was
a
blindly
hike.
Hiking, yes.
Hiking.
I like to go in the downtown area as well, specifically the arts district, because all the museums, LACC, all of those are super fun. Okay, one skill every incoming student should build.
networking.
Networking.
hands
Elevator
down.
pitch.
Talking to strangers.
Yeah.
Asking a lot of questions.
Oh.
Yep, having up made up stories for behavioral interviews. Okay. Best piece of advice you received at USC. Okay, looks like
Don't be afraid. Just go out there and shoot.
I had a faculty member tell me, if you have a question, 5 other people have the same question. You're just the brave one asking. And I always remembered that. And I believe it's true. Other people have the same questions. Same.
I'm gonna piggyback on that and say be curious because there's so much to see, so much to learn, so many people to talk to that you are gonna have an amazing time, but always be curious.
I'm gonna say step out of the comfort zone. I can understand as an international student coming to a new country would be something very intriguing, but like, don't worry, language is not always gonna be a blocker, or like, just don't worry, just don't be afraid, as everybody else is mentioning. Just go free, just go all out. Nobody's judging you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
seconding
think
on that, and just have fun.
Yeah. And the last one, if you had 10 seconds with your admitted self, what would you say? I'd say carpe diem, seize the day, my friend, 100%. It passes by so quickly. I did not realize how the 2 years went, and I've had the best time. So carpe diem.
Take the leap of faith and get to USC. Book your ticket.
Right on! Perfect. Anyone else? If
I guess,
not,
yeah, one
okay.
thing real quick. I guess the biggest thing is your university life is in your hands, so make the most out of it. Do not worry. Like take your opportunities, put yourself out there and make the most out of it. For a lot of us, it might be the last time at a university for a long time. So yeah, make the most out of it.
Yeah, and there's
Talk
so many just like Indian focused clubs. There's Association of Indian Students, there's Hindu Student Organization, there's a cricket club, there's a Bollywood pop club, but there's also like a magic club, there's Rubik's Cube solving club, things that you cannot think of. So go meet new people, go meet your own people, and yeah.
Okay, that's a wrap. I know we're 3 minutes over. We're just gonna spend just 10 minutes on Q&A. I do want to answer one question live. It says, when would you recommend beginning the campus housing application process? So Dia, for on-campus housing, we usually have on-campus housing for freshman students, so undergraduate students, but we have what's called campus affiliated housing, which is all the apartments around USC. They're affiliated with USC, so you need to use like your badge to get in. It's a very secure facility. All of them are gated communities, so you can go ahead and choose those. If you've certified already, you'll receive an email from us with resources with the links to housings. So you can check out all campus affiliated housing. But almost, I think I can vouch for almost everybody on the panel, all of us international students. Most of us have preferred to live in the off-campus housing situation. I mean, I'm not speaking for everyone, but yes, it's a little cheaper, and you can find perfectly safe communities to live around the campus as well. Some of those are very lavish and really good as well in terms of facilities and resources. So definitely check out, and our email is listed on this slide. So if you want, you can just quickly pull up and write an email, and I can send you more resources on those as well. Done. Okay, let's see what other questions are there. Are there any admitted students in-person events that would be conducted in India anytime soon? Additionally, any forums where admitted students can connect? Thank you. Akshay, best question today, because yes, we do have what are called admitted student receptions. They're happening across 6 cities in India this time. That's Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, Pune, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, and also Hyderabad, 7, my bad. But for Hyderabad, we have more of a coffee chat. But either way, yes, we have events and you can connect with us. So say in the upcoming 2 weeks, you'll receive the invitations for these in-person events. And we 100% recommend joining us in person, just because this was sort of like a preview, but we discuss a lot of this in much more depth at the event. So 100% definitely join us. You can RSVP in the upcoming couple of weeks once the invites are out. And within those, you'll also find resources to WhatsApp communities where you can join and stay connected with your peers. I think in-person student receptions are the best way to find roommates, hands down. I think a few of us have already met our roommates in that same setting, but the WhatsApp community will help out too. So I hope that answers your question. Okay. hi, what are the scholarship financial aid opportunities? Let me actually put links to those. I put it, I think, a couple of times, but I'll just add on. I have given the scholarship interview 2 weeks back, but I haven't heard back on whether I will be receiving it or not. What's the process and when can I expect to hear back? So ECTA, we're still reviewing scholarship interviews and making decisions. And you can expect to hear back in the next couple of weeks until the end of March too. So that's the timeline you can expect. Thank you. And I think I'm also keen to learn the accommodation options on campus. Yeah, Samijit, I did mention some of the on-campus accommodation opportunities. So like I said, most of them are for freshmen, but we have campus affiliated housing, so Hillview apartments, similar stuff. We'll share links to housing website where you can find them. And also a lot of us find off-campus housing extremely reliable as well, if that suits you. So yeah, and maybe at the admitted student reception, you can get links to all of those too. So thanks. Are MS admits still being considered for scholarships? Yes, we're still doing reviews, and if you are qualified, you'll receive an email notification on those. Another question from Prathamesh. I'm an MS in Electrical and Computer Engineering admit. What is the I-20 fee? I think Candice is typing an answer, so we're good. Okay, let me quickly answer Himanshu's question. So if we don't have any other questions, we're actually going to end the session in a couple of minutes. You see our email on there. Feel free to reach out to us any point of time. And I hope to see almost all of you at admitted student receptions because they're much more fun. You get more details and you can network with everybody there. And it's over lunch or dinner or coffee. And, it's just nice to meet everybody in person and see who is going. And you might find roommates too. So I'd recommend some recommendations. Yeah, sorry, Devanshi, you were saying something?
And we have giveaways.
And we have giveaways. Yeah. Who wants merch? But great. Anyway, we will see you at those events. But I think, okay, so I do see questions coming in. So at this point, I'd request panelists, if you guys want to continue on, you are welcome to do so. But I know it's so late for some of you there. The ones in New York City and Buffalo, especially. So feel free to hop off if that suits you. But I want to still formally say thank you so much for joining. Your insights and perspective add so much value to students. And I hope to see some of you soon. But have the best weekend as well. And again, big thanks for coming today. And anybody who wants to hop off, please feel free to do so. So in the meantime, we can take some of the more Q&A questions. Okay, so I saw one on financial lines. Let me see if I can answer any of these live. Thank you for the session. Oh, thanks, Dia. How can we find open internship opportunities via career forums? I think this question is very important. I'm going to answer it live right now. So Sri, once you're on campus, you get access to what's called Handshake. It's our portal for you to find all sorts of opportunities, be it internships, on-campus jobs, or full-time career positions. And we list all of those on Handshake. But there's also all of the events that happen in person. That's where you can also find internship opportunities. Something that I did explicitly, and I know so many of our panelists also, we did attend a few conferences as well. Some of those are really good forums to also find good job opportunities. Candice, please feel free to go ahead and answer this.
No, and I just wanted to jump in because there is a public forum for Handshake. So if you were to go to Handshake right now, you're not going to see the Handshake opportunities that we have at USC. So we have an instance of Handshake that you will see opportunities because you're a USC student. So what you would see on the general Handshake is not what Viterbi students are seeing. They're seeing other opportunities with our partners, a lot more. So I just wanted to mention that because they have like a public facing Handshake, but there is a USC instance of Handshake that you have to have an active USC student ID in order to log in and see those opportunities. So just wanted to jump in, but it is Handshake, but we have like a portal for our Handshake. That makes sense.
Perfect. Got it. So I'm going to answer a couple more questions live. I saw a question from Vanilla. Yes, if your application is considered, you would be notified to interview for the scholarships, and eventually, if eligible, you'd also receive a notification. And you did not have to apply separately. If you submitted before December 15th, that was the scholarship deadline, you'd be considered as is. So just be on the lookout for the email. Thank you.
There's one that is the deadline to submit the statement of intent. That is April 1. And the statement of intent is on u.usc.edu. So,
yeah, perfect. I see another question about visa interviews. Very important as well. Also, we'll try to answer it live. So Kaushik, from everything I know as of now, being prepared for the visa interview is also really important. And that means having financial documents ready. But that also means knowing the most you can about your program, about why you intend to study at Viterbi, what courses you want to learn. These are a lot of the basic questions, like which programs, or why do you want to study a specific program, or what motivates you to study in the US, and most importantly, what are your plans after graduation. So definitely try to be prepared with these sort of questions when you're going. And yes, I know a lot of students are getting asked to do the social media vetting portion. And just for the sake of the interview, keep your social media accounts public. Once they are done with the check, it's a normal routine procedure. You will be fine. But preparing financially, the documents that you need, they should be handy. And the consulate officers just want to know that you have all the funding and the finances needed, and that you do not become a liability for the government eventually. So that's one important aspect. And the second is just knowing what you're studying to the core, to the depth. I got asked questions like, why did you pivot from computer science to engineering management? What are your plans after graduation? So stuff like these, really, you should know best. And then again, anything on social media front as well, just try to be compliant with them, and that would work really well. If I missed something, and if anybody of you want to add, please feel free to add. Okay. Ekta has asked a question about scholarship amount range. The range is anywhere from 5,000 to 20,000 US dollars, and you'd be notified accordingly if you are eligible with whatever would be the amount. Okay.
Do you actually mind if I answer one question live? I think
Sure,
this is a
sure.
very good question. So the question is, are game development students given the opportunity to apply to CPT, or is it just for the core computer science? So any student is actually eligible to apply for CPT. You just have to meet certain eligibility criteria, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat so you can have more information as to what does that eligibility criteria mean? What do you need to make sure that you are doing in your first and your second semester to be eligible for CPT? But again, CPT is not based on degree programs. It's actually available to any student who meets the specific criteria.
Perfect. Thanks, Andrea. I see a question from Neeraj that you originally were admitted to the Fall 25 program, but deferred it to Fall 26. Would you be eligible for scholarship if you fill the scholarship form now? Neeraj, if you did apply for Fall 25 as well within the deadline, you might be considered as well, and you'd receive an email notification if so. But it is not a separate application process in any way. So you have to just wait for the email. If you're eligible, they'll reach out to you. Thank you. So I see most questions are already answered. Yeah, I see a question from Achal about parameters on which scholarships are going to be provided. So it's what's called more of a holistic review, Achal. It's everything. It's what your academics are primarily, but also your involvements in your undergraduate study or any research, if you've pursued any. It's a lot of factors, but not one. So yes, I can't pinpoint like specifically everything, but yes, it's a holistic review. So academics, research, any experience, work experience, if you've had any, if you've been involved on campus, all of it 100% counts. And I see Arvind. I'm from India, Chennai. I've started applying scholarship at Scholarship Universe. It asked me to answer the question. The answer, there's no scholarship related to me. Can you help me? Sure. If you see the email on there, that's usc.india. Let's connect and I'll try to speak to you and we can figure out something. Thanks. Okay. Can you share your views on career opportunities for computer science game development? Actually, Devanshi, I want you to do me a favor. For all folks who are still online, because there's still many, we should show the career outcomes page. So I'm going to send you a link. Just click on it. And so we can just really quickly show the career outcomes page for, I'll show for CS and then everybody can do it for your programs. Devanshi, chat.
Yes.
Thank you. Is it possible to change your course if our interest shifts? Oh, I see Andrea is typing an answer, but okay.
Oh, I can also answer live.
Alrighty.
So yes, it is possible to change your course if your interest shifts. It just has to be applicable to your degree requirements. Promise you this, what I'm saying will probably make more sense once you go through orientation and your academic advisors provide you with more information on what do the courses in your first semester, second semester, and any subsequent semester look like, and what are the options of changing those courses?
Perfect. Okay, so for the sake of time, I know we're 20 minutes over our original time. So I think I'll answer one last question and then we can hop on to one quick photo for all the panelists virtually, and then we can close up for the day. But the question is, I did submit my application before December 15th. Yes. So are there any scholarship opportunities we should apply for separately, even though we will be automatically considered? Yes, I will share a couple of links with you. Please feel free to explore those. And those are the ones you can check in. But there's also a lot of scholarship opportunities from the government of India as well. Feel free to explore some of those. Okay, so we're done with questions. Devanshi, if you stop sharing, we'll just take a quick photo with all our panelists who are still here, and then we can hop off for tonight. Okay, so at the count of 4, at the count of 3, my bad. I'm still on flight mode, by the way, guys. It's still early for me. So at the count of 3, we'll all do a fight on. So 1, 2, 3. Fight on! Okay, I got it. Oh my God, my FaceTime thing has a lot of these reactions enabled. So anytime I do those, there's balloons. And this is, I think, fireworks. I don't think you can see them. It's happening at anyway, but okay. So to conclude today's event, thank you so much to each and everyone who made the time to join us and stay all the way to the end as well. Again, your perspectives and insight has helped out so many students to get all the information they need to make a decision. And I hope to see you sometime in person, but till then, sayonara, tata, bye-bye, good night, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great night or great day wherever you are.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, let's.
Do we have more questions? I'll stay on to help you. Are we done? We're done. Okay.
We're done. Thank you,
Great
Candace.
job, you guys. Bye.
Thank you.